Hey y'all, as is often the case, after the sermon and after a couple of conversations with people along the way, I remembered a part of the sermon that I really wish I would have communicated on Sunday, but just forgot. So I'm hoping to utilize this outlet to communicate what I believe to be a critical and God-honoring difference between grieving and lamenting versus grumbling. Grieving and lamenting are not the same as grumbling. To grieve or to lament is to have a deep sorrow about something, but it's to still move towards God with that sorrow, to look to God for hope, even to rejoice in God for his love in spite of the suffering you are enduring. Grieving and lamenting are part of life, but when done towards God, they actually honor him and turn us toward our true hope. Grumbling is complaining at God, is moving away from him rather than towards him. In the Greek language, as in the book of Philippians, there's one word for grumbling, gongusmos, which means to grumble, to complain, to whine negatively against something. In the Hebrew, there are two words used for the word grumbling, lun, which means to growl, and ragan, which means to rebel. The Hebrews would have defined the word grumbling as a growling rebellion. What a perfect definition of grumbling. And I think a great way to distinguish between grumbling and grieving or being sad. Grumbling is a growling rebellion against God and his provision or his purpose or his plan. It is what we saw with the Israelites in the desert. They had a growling rebellion against God's provision and plan and purpose for them. How do you expect us to get across the sea? We need food. We need more food. We need different food. We don't think this will work. We think the obstacles are too big. This doesn't make sense to us, God. The Israelites had a steady, growling rebellion against God. It would have been one thing to admit difficulty or suffering, yet still choose to trust and move towards God and rejoice in God. But their grumbling hardened their hearts and pushed them away from God and displayed God in a negative light to those around them. And so this is just where I really wanted to reiterate and emphasize we're all going to grieve and lament at times. We're all going to have sorrow and sadness. That's not wrong. It's a normal human emotion. And when we move towards God in trust and rejoicing, even in that grieving, even in that lamenting, that really honors God and paints him in a beautiful light, that he is our hope in spite of those hard situations. Grumbling is our complaining against God. It's really doubting him and moving away from a trust in his provision and plan and purpose for us. So I hope that gives some clarification and really encourages you to know the difference in your own heart between grumbling and grieving or lamenting a sad situation. All right, thanks for listening, and look forward to seeing you all again soon. Bye.